Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the Iowa State University Beef Teaching Farm. Today we're going to go over something that I get a lot of questions on. A lot of people are confused about it. How we do tagging and identification here at the Iowa State University Beef Teaching Farm with the addition now of EID tags and how we incorporate that into our ID system out here at the farm. We'll talk to you right after this. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the ISU Beef Teaching Farm. I'm going to talk to you today about something that we have just started this year out at the ISU Teaching Farm, and that's the addition of EID tags into our visual tag system to complement our tattoos and freeze brands. One of the things that I really struggled with on when we went to going to implement this was how to make it cross-compatible, so when my crew or I have a list of visual IDs, how do I know what the EID tag is or vice versa? If I have something with an EID tag, how do I know what its visual tag was supposed to be without dragging out a tag reader, scale head, and everything else with me? So, kind of the solution that we came up with is pretty simple. Takes a little bit more time at tagging, but we've got the last three of the individual EID tag number on this tag. Once again, white cattle out at the Teaching Farm are Angus cattle. Red tags out at the Teaching Farm are Simmental cattle. Yellow tags out at the Teaching Farm are our crossbred cattle. And now with the addition of now the 426 class having a heifer buyback program, we have the addition of purple tags out at the farm. So purple tags are program cattle out at the ISU Beef Teaching Farm, and this would be cattle that have been purchased for a specific class need, like our heifer buyback program. So if you see something with a purple tag in it out here, they would be our heifer buyback program heifers. Now we'll visit with you guys in depth about our heifer buyback program and how we're implementing that at the Teaching Farm for a really cool educational way for students to get some hands-on cattle management experience. So if you'll see here, we've got all these tags. We're choosing to use 840 tags. What an 840 tag is, it's an official USDA identification. What that does is if we have cattle transported over state line, this now will take the place of a silver clip in their ear, and we can use this as an official ID. So if you're a replacement heifer on our operation, you're going to have a tattoo in each one of your ears with your visual ID number. So if A101 here would be a heifer, she would have A101 in both of her ears. She will also have this visual ID tag in her ear. She will then have her corresponding EID tag in her ear. And if she makes it to be a replacement, she will then carry the visual ID as a freeze brand on her left rear hip. The goal with this is to have a lot of identification on those cattle so that we never lose track of who they are. Being a purebred operation or having a seed stock component to our farm, the hard part is if we lose a tag or have an unlegible tattoo, maybe we can't read the last number, it becomes very difficult to determine who that animal is. And from a seed stock value, unless we go back and do parentage and genomics on them, they become invaluable to us, or they become of no value to us from a seed stock standpoint. So good identification is really important. I'll talk very briefly on what we're doing so far with our EID system. This is our first year with it. The actual reason that we implemented it was for ease of taking our 30-day weighs as well as weaning weights. And if we do research projects out here, it really speeds up the process. There's a lot of companies that make tag readers. We're just choosing to use an orange and black one right now. This is our tag reader, so we can actually just point and click it at the ear, and then it will automatically log that tag back into our scale head, and then we can manually enter our visual ID tag. The next time that animal comes through, they're already saved in the system, so 30 days later it automatically logs it. We download it into a computer program that we have on our computer, or we can wirelessly send it to the computer, and then we can track all of that in an Excel sheet spread format, or an Excel spreadsheet format, excuse me. So it allows me to make some lists really quick, and it allows me to pull up a graph of weights. I can see a weight distribution. On a load lot, it'll tell me the average weight of that group. It'll tell me total pounds of that group for loading a truck. There's a lot of really handy management tools that we've learned in the 6 months that we've used this that I don't know if I could ever go back to living without, to be quite honest. Lots of companies have them. That's not unique to this one. But that's kind of how we've decided to implement using EIDs with our old visual ID system so that we can keep track of everybody on this farm. Now on our tags, the one thing that we will still do and continue to do is we use our international breed to year, or letter to year correlation on our Simmentals. In 2019 it was G. The first number on the tag is the last digit of the year that animal was born. And if you'd see here, we have two 101s. So what this tells us is this is an Angus 101, A 101, J 101, this would be a Simmental. So when it's written on a page, if they just write 101, it's kind of useless to me. But if we put that letter in there, it's now really useful. What the addition of EIDs now will do, though, is that the last 3 digits won't be the same. We'll have to go into 4 digits eventually. But if we have 2 101s running around on this farm as cows eventually, which we do have some duplicate cows in certain breeds, what this will do now is we can rely on that EID tag to make sure that we don't get the wrong one when we're registering. So we've eliminated 2 problems here. The other thing that we do is we will put the dam goes on the bottom left of our tag, the sire goes on the bottom right of our tag, and then the birth date goes on the back. So we're carrying a lot of information on these cattle. We're going to continue to do that. We will have all that information still entered in to our computer program with our EID numbers and tags, but this allows my crew to be able to identify. I really like having the sire and the dam and the birth date on these tags. It lets you go out when you're trying to pair something up, and I can tell who this calf's mom is. Some people like to tag them with mom's number. That's a great way to do it, but retaining back heifers, I would either have to re-tag them, have 2 versions of a cow, or come up with another number at some point in their life. So we like to just put the dam on the bottom of the tag so that we can refer back to it. The sire's nice so that we can visually look and see what sires we like throughout the year, and it's really handy if you got people coming out to look at calves in the middle of the summer. Maybe they're looking at purchasing. So that's how we're handling the EID conundrum out here at the ISU Beef Teaching Farm. Stay tuned to how we like it. So far it's a great system, and I would sure recommend it to anybody who is in a seed stock position, feed yard operation, or just you want to be a little bit more accurate with your identification on those cows. It sure eliminates the need to try and explain to somebody, well, it was that cow that had a split ear with a bald face on her. We don't have any of that anymore. Everybody's got their own specific number and the EID as well as their visual ID, and we've got a couple of forms of it. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.